Here we are, April 2023. The year has been pretty good for Dying Light 2, right? Right? I still think so. New updates, new patches are still coming out. We had a brand new event, the Explosive Hunt, that added in new weapons, a damn chicken outfit, a new paraglider, and tons more. I will say, content drops have slowed down a little bit. In the background, Techland has been primarily working on major upgrades to the physics system, combat, its brutality, alongside adding in Techland GG quests and also a gear transmog system. All of that, it's coming in April. It's coming this month. And it's certainly a sight to behold. The community has been asking for exactly this to Techland for months now.
Now, cook. What? Cook. Cook. Now, cook. I don't cook.
And this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted them to take time off, work on updates, and release these big patches to make significant changes to the game. And that's the exact situation that we find ourselves in currently. But don't worry, during this downtime, modders have stepped up to the plate, adding in literal rocket ships and space functioning trains, guns, and so much more. Remember Bloody Ties? You remember Churro? Well, some of them are actually going in and adding in satisfying alternate endings. So while Techland is primarily focused on delivering on the roadmap, we actually did go and get a pretty small update worth mentioning. Update 1.9.4. The update is pretty small. They fixed several crashes, made many bug fixes and improvements, but of the three notable ones, these right here, the game is now fully playable and compatible on the most beloved handheld device from around the world. A device that so many gamers have been enjoying for months on end, and it's here for the Steam Deck. It's not coming to the Switch, guys. You can now go ahead and play Dying Light 2 on your Steam Deck. It's fully supported, fully compatible. Go over there and check it out if you have one. They also made legend levels working for players that were using mods. Neat little quality of life upgrade right there. So if you want to nuke Churro and earn some XP while doing so, you can do that now. That's all the fixes and improvements in that update right there. Just a quick little 30-second to a minute long recap for you. Back in my old days, that would have been like a 10 to 15 minute long video that I would have stretched out for more ad revenue. But you're probably wondering, there's still that third one, and that's the event that added in the chicken suit. And was this event good? Was it bad? There was one thing that I loved.
Oh yeah, oh, mwah. The subtle lines, the shading, the just enigmatic nature of it all. All of this is just, it's perfect.
In March, we had an Easter event, and how was it exactly? It's not bad. It's pretty decent. It reminds me of the Dying Light 1 Easter event, which was just stupid fun. So what is the objective here? What is the goal of this event? Basically, this event is centered around chickens, cocks, lots of cocks looking like a frat party in here. With this, you need to collect eggs, and there are two, regular and golden. Regular go boom, golden go bigger boom. Majority of the time you can get them by looting different enemies. If you loot special infected, you have a higher chance of getting the bigger boom. And as always, we have our participation, warm-up, personal, and global goal. So for one kill with the egg, you get a hunter token. Usually, I would be upset and I would want the life choked out of me here. But for this, it's one kill, one little murder. You see that guy? Probably had some kids and some family. Whoop! Thank you for the hunter token, sir. In this case, it's fine. Participation is so easy here that a hunter token is acceptable as a reward. For the warm-up goal, we get 123 enemies killed. We get the exceptional. You get a charm. You get a goddamn charm. Nice little cosmetic to add to our favorite weapon. I love it. Charm's a pretty good reward here. We then have our 400 kill personal goal, which gives us the rooster outfit and chicken wing paraglider skin. I'm intrigued. It's so goofy and entertaining to look at, you can't help but love it and want to go clucking around. Like, look at that. Why wouldn't you want to rock that? One thing I will say that Techland doesn't let us down on is the outfits. These are just getting better and better with each and every single update. They're cooking. And finally, we have the global goal. But before we go and proceed, I have a quick little message for you. So I want to take a quick 30 seconds to talk to you about the freshest ready-made meals that can be delivered right to your doorstep with Factor. What I love about Factor is that they are chef-prepared meals delivered right to you, and they're genuinely delicious. I actually love them. The chicken, amazing. The mac and cheese, god tier. It's also a very easy way to achieve a healthy and simple lifestyle. If you're big on fitness, or maybe you've been wanting to change up your diet with nutritious meals, I highly recommend Factor. No more meal prepping, no more dishes, and with the link down below and also the code on the screen right now, you can go ahead, order your first box, get 50% off, and enjoy. Like I said, I've been using them for a little bit now, and I highly recommend them. And with all that said, let's get back to it now. And finally, for the global goal, we get the chicken claw weapon, which is exactly what it sounds like. It looks like a chicken claw. You know how when you go to the grocery store and they have the section in the back with all the chicken parts that no one wants, and they have chicken feet? Pretend they turned that into a melee weapon, and now you can go and kill zombies with it. Overall, I was pretty satisfied with this event. I don't have any major complaints. The event was something small to go and hold us over for more major content drops that are coming this month. I much rather play Egg Hunt than hunting Sergeant Ryan and getting that charm, or everyone's favorite, Long Nights, where the nights are long. That right there is my last joke regarding long nights on this channel. I have abused it so much, more than an NFL player does to his family. So aside from that little small update and event, there hasn't been much going on with Dying Light 2 lately. But rest assured, major changes are coming, and because of this little time off period, there is now an expectation that when this content does drop, it's quite impactful. If you go and look at the roadmap, if this is bad, and also this, then February and March were kind of meaningless with this time off period. The purpose of all of these changes is to overhaul Dying Light 2 for the better, so these updates need to be substantial. A lot of what you're seeing on this roadmap right here, they want to get done in preparation for DLC 2. It makes sense. A lot of the casual fan base has dipped quicker than my dad when he got his first child support bill. They aren't coming back until a major expansion comes, and if Techland can successfully lure them in with a DLC while also exposing them to all the changes they've been making for months, it's a win-win situation. Those players are going to see that and they're going to stick around, so it needs to be significant. We saw something similar like this with Dying Light 1 and the following. Release a major expansion while also making an enhanced edition with numerous quality of life improvements to change the core experience completely, so hopefully we see something similar here. When it comes to DLC 2, we have very limited insight on what exactly is coming, but what I do have is some hot takes for you right here. In my opinion, depending on the success of DLC 2 will determine if Techland can hold an audience for another 3 years. After all, we know that community response to the first DLC was overwhelmingly positive. The community loved Churro. Great character development, great motivations. I understood every single one of them. This joke is going on for way too long. It received a pretty lukewarm response. No bueno. And me, personally, I'll probably be done with Dying Light 2 as a whole if DLC 2 is a failure. But what do I mean by failure? Good question, young Padawan. I'm looking for X, Y, and Z right here, and a majority of the community is too.
That's what I'm looking for.
It's going to be a true test to Techland listening to feedback and seeing if they can provide. 2022 was rough, and while so far in 2023 they are taking necessary steps in the right direction, and it does make me hopeful. I mean, after all, they did add in a chicken suit. That is a much better reward than that crispy avocado charm. And while Techland has stated and gone on record that X, Y, and Z will be included, DLC 2 is still my final last hope for them. Pun absolutely intended. I mean, they did say that was coming out. Look how that went. Furthermore, I also think there will be a lot of implications in the future on the Techland side if DLC 2 is disappointing, because they're also going and developing another video game, a single-player narrative story-driven experience that's a fantasy RPG. And if fans hate DLC 2, if it's unsuccessful, what's stopping them from just going over, shifting all their resources to this new game and putting the B team on Dying Light 2? And then the team on Dying Light 2 just does minimal updates for the next 5 years. Who's to say they haven't done that already? Now, I do want to go and circle back to Techland's other game, their fantasy RPG. Not that. Silly editor Oni, get that out of your head. This game right here is Techland's newest and most ambitious project to date. Our newest game is set to be a narrative-driven fantasy experience with an exotic open world ready to be explored. We strive to create a compelling story-focused AAA title that combines and refines the best aspects of gameplay that Techland is known for. New game, new story, combines the best aspects that Techland is known for. Parkour. But the big question is, what exactly does this mean for Dying Light 2? So now all of this is up to interpretation, and I'm going to give you my best guess here. Recently, there is a lot of new talent that is going into Techland. It's no secret, but you can see it on their Twitter pages, their LinkedIns, all the new employees that are joining the company. Funny enough, a good portion of them were ex-CDPR, the ones that worked on and delivered Cyberpunk, and I imagine when they're coming into this company that their focus will be on the next game. But that's not to say that Dying Light 2 won't be getting any love anymore, because I'm convinced that the person who made the katana animations for Cyberpunk is the same person that made the katana animations for Dying Light 2. They're pretty damn similar. But to me, their next game is the next logical step forward to focus on. They claim it's going to be their biggest and best product yet, so of course they want all hands on deck there. So we do have to remember, regardless of how you feel about the current state of Dying Light 2, it was a massive success for them. It was a certified W for sales for them. Furthermore, everything that they did with Dying Light 2 was a massive learning experience for them. They can utilize what went wrong, what went right, and use that information to help pave the path for this new game. I think now there's probably a much smaller team tackling on Dying Light 2. That's a pretty reasonable assumption, I would say. When the original Dying Light came out, that was the entire team's main focus for a while, and quality shined through. But we do have to remember, 2022 was a little rough. Quality was lacking. That year ended with a pretty disappointing lazy Christmas update that was kind of a reskin of the Halloween event. It was an event that was struggling to hit these player community goals. That should be a reflection of how the quality dipped over time. But I do have to say, in 2023, it feels that now that they're back on track despite being a smaller team. The current state of Dying Light 2 is how I believed it should have launched back in February 2022. That's when it came out. I'm not going to go and get caught up on what could have been. I will say that it feels once Team On was given full franchise director, quality has definitely improved. And 2023 is still shaping up to be an exciting year. The first major DLC expansion that actually brings in new locations is coming, and it's going to be a true test to see what resources Techland actually has available to them now. DLC 2 is a pretty pivotal moment. Will they succeed? Will they fail? If they succeed and it's comparable to the success of the following, then we're in good hands. The future's looking bright. But on the other hand, if it fails, maybe if it's like a Hell Raid, or maybe my favorite, Bad Blood, I think we might be doomed. If it fails, I wouldn't be surprised if they took most of their resources working on Dying Light 2 and then just shifted it over to the new game. Obviously, that would suck. It's my interpretation of it, maybe even a hot take to some degree, but that is everything that I have to say about the current state of Dying Light 2. I do want to go ahead and turn the microphone over to Backboard Films so he can go ahead and give his insight on what he thinks about the current state of the game. Take it away.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to Oni for having me back here today. I originally took a break from playing Dying Light 2 for quite a long time, but now after spending some time free roaming, duking volatiles, and seeing what's happening with the game currently once again, I really did love what I played, and I'm not putting that lightly. It felt great to feel the free roaming possibilities of very little restrictions, besides the sometimes very annoying chemicals that lay along the outside zones. But during my time, I felt a sense of wonder, surprise. That is after taking a pretty lengthy break though, because initially I got burnt out. The main thing that reappeared in my mind throughout my experience was the familiarity of it all. There was a lot I didn't get to experiment with, some things I've certainly forgotten, but deep down I felt like something was missing. I didn't take the time to test out co-op held up on PC, but around the first month of launch it was rough. A disaster for some with the not working at all. So, a few weeks ago I had some extra free time and so I played Dying Light 2 on mobile through GeForce Now, and even tested co-op. And it held up surprisingly great. Very few bugs, connection issues, or problems at all were present in what's probably the worst version of Dying Light 2. Now, this was me just joining random players and not fully testing matchmaking with friends. But hey, if it works great on my 7-year-old phone, I'm sure it's working pretty well these days. Overall though, I've had a ton of fun diving back into Villador and seeing how things have evolved in the past year. I noticed a lot of little things that really do make a big difference, like more viral set nights or more encounters in general. Dying Light 2 sure isn't perfect, and some things like the implementation of custom maps do feel unfortunately lackluster, especially compared to the first game, but I am extremely happy we got it at all. And I'm glad it's supported by Techland themselves. Just to be clear, I mean the way we play the custom maps, not the maps themselves. The tools we have open so many doors to so many possibilities. Some allowing folks to create maps that don't seem like Dying Light at all, but they are. Most companies don't care to support their games long term, especially for free, so it's something nice to always appreciate. The game though is a solid foundation. I hope Techland improves with future updates and hopefully DLC too. I will admit, I'm a little concerned for what's to come and how the community will react. I really do feel as if this game needs a huge spike of content to bring people back in, something to really switch up the formula. But time will tell how many more tricks Techland has up their sleeve. Anyways though, thanks for listening to what I had to say, and let's hear from Oni about Dead Island 2, a game many folks have been comparing to Dying Light 2 for many understandable reasons.
But now to end, that was March for Dying Light 2. And now we're creeping into April, where it's going to be a pretty big month for zombie fans. We have all of the big updates coming to Dying Light 2, and we also have Dead Island 2 coming. It's going to be some nice worthy competition for both of the games to go up against. Because honestly, there is a lot going on with Dead Island 2. And if you click on this video right here, you can go ahead and learn more. Click it right there. It's right here. Click it. Click it. Thank you again to Factor for sponsoring this video. I'll see you later. Bye bye.